Our weekly conversation with Portage City Manager Pat McGinnis, who is joining us from our state capitol this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Ken. How are things in Kalamazoo this morning?
Well, same old, cloudy and dreary.
That's the same thing in Lansing. I'm looking out the window here, and it is just as cloudy and dreary here, and it was very foggy overnight here.
Yeah, a little bit here, too. But we're going to pull out of this pretty soon. So what brings you to the state capitol?
Well, I'm down here for our annual Winter Institute. It's a group of city managers who gather once a year in one or another Michigan city, and it's a training opportunity, a networking opportunity, get up to date of all things this year for sure. Pretty heavy emphasis on our state capitol and things that are going on in Lansing. I was able to stop by our state representative, Christine Morse's office yesterday, and later in the week I'll be meeting with Senator McCann. So do a little bit of hobnobbing with our representatives that we send down here, and also catch up with fellow city managers and learn some of the best practices from across the state of Michigan, things that are happening in other communities. So a lot of learning about how things are being done elsewhere and what we can replicate in our neck of the woods to not recreate the wheel or repeat other people's mistakes.
Well, back home in Portage, work continues on some 2024 goals that you talked about in our conversation last week.
Yeah. I did this last year when we first met, and I thought I'd do it again this year. Each week I'll mention another one of City Council's several goals. They just approved these at their last meeting, so they're fairly fresh. The first one is just continue work on our Portage Farmers Market. The market itself has been very, very successful in recent years as we've grown it in the parking lot at City Hall, and it seems like Sunday is our day. We've kind of staked our claim on that day as a day to have a farmer's market in our area. So with that success and growth and increase in numbers each year, we get more visitors and more interest from vendors and a waiting list for vendors. We looked at let's build something permanent. So we did settle on a location, and it's going to be in the vicinity of the Portage Zang Senior Center and library and city parks and rec building. You know, we own enough real estate there to make this thing happen. And then with the help of our state delegation here in Lansing, we got a $1.75 million grant towards the end of last year. So that more than gets us off and running, and we'll soon be presenting a design firm to City Council to start helping us conceptualize what the floor plan ought to look like and how many vendors we want to accommodate and what amenities we need to include. So I think by 2025, you'll see us break ground, and hopefully all things go well. You know, maybe sometime later that year of 2025, we'd be able to start holding our market there at the new location. So that's an aim for us this year to kind of keep that going. And we want it to be more than just a Sunday market. You know, we want it to be available for many other community activities and events and things that spring out of the library, the senior center, and our parks and rec department. It can kind of be a catch-all for all those places. So it'll just add a little luster and pop to the center of Portage, and we're really looking forward to that.
As are many in Portage, I'm sure you will be a wonderful addition to your city. Portage City Manager Pat McGinnis is with us this morning on WKZO. Now, you have your next council meeting next week. What's big on the agenda next week, Pat?
Well, coming up on Tuesday the 6th, just a couple items, you know, nothing too spectacular, but something that we're happy about. We were able to get some state grant money to abandon some wells in some areas that have been affected by the PFAS. We've all heard about PFAS in the news and this forever chemical that can get into our systems and never go away. Well, in some areas of town, we found that present in groundwater. So we're able to go in and abandon those private wells and connect those homes to city water and get them beyond that risk, so they won't need to worry about that particular threat from that chemical. So we'll be approving that project on Tuesday night to work on some homes. And then also something that's very important and not the most exciting thing is we're updating our property maintenance code. And any city has a code that requires us all to keep our properties at a certain level of safety and decent appearance. And in Portage, it's been a baked-in, localized ordinance for a long time. We're going to adopt the international standards, so we'll be using the same standards everybody else uses. It's actually the 2021 code. Again, not the most exciting thing, but it's exciting for our inspectors and our staff at City Hall to have something consistent, reliable, time-tested, used worldwide. We'll be using the same property maintenance standards as all other communities, and that'll clean things up a bit for us. Also, I don't want to forget this weekend, Saturday, February 3rd, at the Air Zoo. We're celebrating Black History Month, and each year Portage invites a notable African-American speaker to come in and remind us of the contributions Black Americans make in our country and recognize Black History Month in that way. So we're kicking that off February 3rd, this Saturday, 6 o'clock at the Air Zoo. It's free admission, and you'll be able to wander around and look at all those awesome exhibits they have there. But Dr. C.M. Proctor, I love it, Dr. Proctor. It's got nice alliteration.
Yes, it does.
Dr. Proctor will be talking about her travels to space. First African-American astronaut, went up on one of the SpaceX missions and has an amazing story to tell. So it'll be very educational. You'll be able to get a copy of her book. She'll sign it for you. And it's free. It goes till 9 o'clock, so you can come down, a nice Saturday night activity. And I'm very impressed. Last year we had a remarkable speaker, and this year is no different. So that's this Saturday at the Air Zoo.
All right, very good. Pat McGinnis, City Manager in Portage, has been our guest, our weekly update here on WKZO. And thanks for joining us from the state capitol on your travels this morning. And we'll catch up with you on the City Council meeting next time we talk next week.
Yeah, I'll see you next week back home. You have a great day, Ken.
And you as well.